The easiest way to manifest. Manifest a relationship now. Make a new story. Hey, I'm Katie, and this is Living in the Now. On my channel, I talk about everyday manifesting, stories and examples to help you to manifest everything you desire. So after watching hundreds of videos and reading tons of books on manifesting, it all says the same thing at the core. They're all saying the same thing in different ways, but usually they don't just flat out say it. So today, I'm going to flat out say it. Why not make manifesting easy and help you to get everything you want? So how do you manifest in the easiest way possible? You realize that manifesting is really just saying a story of what you want. Look at every technique or method ever. What's the core? You're saying what you want and feeling good about it. And as you say what you want, you see yourself as having it. Or I do when I say what I want. That's why the statement I want works for me. Because I'm focused on what I want, saying it, feeling good in those seconds about it, and I see myself as having it, or I know that I will have it, simply because I said that I want it. My core story has been, I say what I want and it happens. I always get what I want. And as more and more things started to happen, that core story became more and more true. Most people don't even remember to say what they want. So why does everyone make it hard then? Scripting. What are you doing? You're saying a story of what you want. Affirmations, 2-cup method. Meditations, intentions, assuming, self-talk, every technique. Even for a self-concept, you're making a story of how you want people to see you and act towards you. Which is really what then? It's saying a story of what you want. And as you do, you feel good and see yourself as having it. Why list the qualities of a partner? Why act as if? Why make a vision board? Why do anything? Why not make it simple? Why not become aware of the core idea of what you're doing? Which is, you say a story of what you want. The key is to persist in that new story to make it your new dominant thought. Because your dominant thoughts are the main thing and what usually manifests. That's why you get the same unwanted patterns, or stuff ends up happening in the same way. Because your old thoughts are more dominant. They tend to resurface and take over. It's true that you can say what you want once, and it can happen. But oftentimes, for the larger, more significant desires, you have lots of bad thoughts about it, or sadness about it. So that may take more effort to replace. And effort just means, as far as realizing the bad thoughts about the desire and replacing them. But the more you do it and see results, the easier it gets. I used to think manifesting a relationship was hard, and I don't know where to meet a person. Or I wanted certain things about them. See, that's the story itself. So I changed that story. I said I want manifesting a relationship to be easy. I want a person to come to me and find me exactly where I am. I want a person who's everything I said I wanted and listed. And it worked. So to replace those old stories, you have to say a new story and keep at it until it happens. Does this mean being crazy about it and saying it like a robot and writing it out 1,000 times? No, that isn't necessary. It's more natural. Like, oh, that isn't a story of what I want, or a positive story, or thought about my desire. And in that moment, noticing that and changing it. After saying a new story, I met people, and they came to me and showed up. They matched parts of my list, so I just kept adjusting my story. And the results got better and better. And once you see it work, you build off of that, and you realize the story way really works. And all you're doing is using your thoughts. Then you get led to them or them to you. And it can happen in countless amazing ways. And as it does, it feels natural and normal. And at some point you realize, like, oh wait, this is what I said I wanted, or this is who I said I wanted, and they fit it. They fit the list or the story. I also lately added in a self-concept story of me alone. Like I'm wanted, loved, beautiful. Everyone is nice to me. I'm desired. People want to help me and do nice things for me. I remember I said this new self-concept story. I said I want to be loved. And I remember saying that in my head at work. And seconds later, this guy at work comes up to me and says, "You know I love you, right?" It was weird, but it felt natural. And later that day, I was like, oh yeah, that's why. Because of my story. Because of the story I said in my new self-concept. So try it. What do you have to lose? So let's say if situations come up, like unwanted things happen, and that leads to a bad story. Like, oh, they didn't text me back. That means I'm unwanted, unloved, and they don't want me. See, that's just a story of the unwanted. So notice it and change it. I just noticed that story. So I'd say, no, this is my new story now. Actually, they will text me because they can't get enough of me. Of course they like me. Or imagine something else unwanted comes up. You saw an upsetting thing that showed up. You would just observe it. Don't react. And go back to the story of what you want. For example, your boss approaches you and says, "I can't give you a raise this year." You observe that and you don't react. You say, okay. But in your mind and thoughts, then say a story of what you do want. I want a raise anyway. I want them to change their mind. I want more money. I want them to find a way to pay me more. See, this is a positive story of what you want. And in time, it will happen. If you persist in it, or if you were to say it once, then let it go and no longer think of it, and if you left it on a good note. For example, a person you want a relationship with says, "No, I don't want a commitment. I'm not interested in that." You don't react. You say, "Okay, I understand." And then in your mind you say, "I want a commitment with," and say their name. I want them to decide to commit to me. I want them to realize I'm the only one for them and special, and that they want a commitment with me. I want them to change their mind and commit to me now. I want to see evidence of this now. I had a relationship person who didn't say feelings to me, like ever, in text, and that really bothered me. So I didn't say that to them. I just tried not to react, and I made a new story. My new story was something like, I want them to open up more. And then days later, I noticed that they did, and they started to open up more. It really can be that easy. You are manifesting at every second. You're holding together your world, your room, your car, the clouds, the trees. It's all you and being created and done by you. So start to realize things can be easy. If you have a clear story and think positive about it, it will happen. Sometimes things need you to reaffirm it many times because that way it becomes your dominant thought. You could also work more on your self-concept, which would be like, everyone wants to commit to me. I'm the best girlfriend or boyfriend out there. People see my qualities and value and want to commit to me. I remember saying I wanted a girlfriend to quit smoking, and this was a person who smoked daily for years. And it worked, just simply by me saying I want them to quit smoking. See my video link below about that. It's all the same idea. You say what you want and you feel good about it. And as you say it, you see or you feel yourself as having it. Visualizing on purpose isn't even necessary. Usually when you say what you want, a flash of an image of it comes to your mind automatically. Or the feeling of having it can also be enough, which happens automatically when you say what you want. No other techniques are necessary. You can simply say what you want, focus on it, and it can happen. I remember focusing on something I wanted for like 5 minutes or less, and it happened the next day. It really can be that easy. Start to affirm or make a story that manifesting is easy for you. So has anyone else ever noticed after thousands of hours of manifesting books, videos, this is all it really is? You just decide what you want, maybe some details about it, then you say what you want and it happens. You say it in the wanted tense. That means what you do want. I want money to fall into my lap. You don't say, I don't want to be broke. Say it in the wanted tense. Like I want money. I want a relationship. I want a girlfriend or boyfriend. For example, I just decided I want a new relationship. I want them to live close by. I want them to want what I do. I want them to come to me and find me exactly where I am. I want instant results now. I want to see evidence of them now. I want them to be visible now. I want them to stand out to me now, and me stand out to them. I want them in my arms now. And see how say what you want just ends up as a story of what you want? For me, I looked back and I noticed everything I ever manifested was like that. I want a job that's this, this, and this. Happened. I want a partner with brown hair. Got it. I want overtime. Yep. I want to win the lottery. And I want a scratch off. I even drove past an apartment building and I said, I want to live there. And that happened. Which be sure to like this video and subscribe, because I can share that story soon. But it was all the same. I said what I want, maybe a few details about it, maybe sometimes more general, but it was always a story of what I want. So if it hasn't worked for you yet, check your story. Persist in a new story. Make your new story dominant. Realize your thoughts create, and that means if you say a story of what you want or say what you want, it must happen. If it hasn't worked, you must not be thinking positive about your desire. Well, how do you think positive about your desire? You make a new story about it. For example, I can't manifest a boyfriend or girlfriend. People are mean and always treat me bad. This turns into, manifesting a boyfriend or girlfriend is so easy for me. As easy as breathing. I say what I want and it happens. I always get what I want. This is what I want now. I want a new boyfriend or girlfriend. I want everyone to be nice to me. I want a new girlfriend or boyfriend to come to me and find me exactly where I am now. I want a girlfriend or boyfriend who treats me amazing, or better than anyone else ever has. I want them in my arms now. Notice how each thing is a story, but the first one is a negative story about your desire, and the second one is a positive story about your desire. Change your story to what you want, and persist in it. Well, what does that even mean? It means during the day when your desire comes to mind, be aware and mindful. Say, yep, that's happening. I say what I want and it happens. I always get what I want. So I get a boyfriend or girlfriend. They come to me and find me exactly where I am. We do everything together. If your desire comes to mind, instead of the old sad thoughts, replace it with a new story. If you see a couple on TV all happy, you probably usually say, why don't I have that? I'm so sad and upset. Instead, make a new story. Say, I want that. I want a love like that. No matter what happens, bring it back to a story of what you want. I want a new girlfriend or boyfriend. I want them 100% into me. I want equal mutual love. I want a lasting relationship. I want them to see me as beautiful, amazing. I want them to want to commit to me. Even make a list of their qualities and say, I want them to fit the list and be everything I listed now. I've seen it happen, and it can happen. Make manifesting easy. Just say a story of what you want. That's my video for today. Thanks for watching.